Once upon a time in a quaint little town, there lived a man named Alex. He was an ordinary guy, married to the love of his life, Sarah. Their life together was filled with laughter, love, and the occasional family gathering that included Sarah's mother, Helen. Helen was a vibrant woman in her late 40s, with a personality that could light up a room. She was well known for her charm and wit, making her the life of the party at family gatherings. One sunny afternoon, Sarah had to run some errands, leaving Alex home alone. As he was enjoying his usual lazy Sunday, he received a text from Helen. She needed help with her phone. It was acting up, and she was frustrated. Alex, being a tech-savvy person, quickly agreed to help her out. "Come over any time," he replied, not knowing the unexpected turn this day would take. Helen arrived shortly after, wearing a stylish outfit that accentuated her figure. Alex greeted her at the door, inviting her in with a warm smile. "Thanks for coming over, Helen. Let's see what's wrong with that phone of yours," he said, leading her to the living room where they could sit comfortably. As Helen handed him her phone, she leaned over, giving Alex a glimpse of her perfume-scented presence. "I just don't understand why it won't turn on," she said, frustration lining her voice. Alex took the device and started fiddling with it, all the while trying to focus on the task at hand despite being acutely aware of her proximity. After a few moments of troubleshooting, Alex managed to get the phone working. "It just needed a quick restart," he said, handing it back to her. Helen was thrilled. "Oh, thank you, Alex. You're a lifesaver," she exclaimed, her eyes sparkling with appreciation. In the heat of the moment, as they chatted about the latest family news, Helen casually mentioned, "You know, I have some really funny pictures on my phone that I wanted to show you." Intrigued, Alex nodded, and she began scrolling through her gallery, sharing a few silly photos of family gatherings and vacations. Then, to Alex's surprise, Helen shifted the tone of the conversation. "I've got a few more. Adventurous ones, too," she said playfully, and, without hesitation, she clicked on a folder that contained some risque photos. Alex's heart raced as he was suddenly confronted with images that he never expected to see from his mother-in-law. "Wow, Helen, I didn't know you had these," he stammered, his cheeks flushing with a mix of embarrassment and curiosity. Helen laughed lightly, teasing him. "Life's too short to be serious all the time, right?" The atmosphere in the room shifted, charged with an undeniable tension. As they exchanged glances, Alex felt a rush of adrenaline. It was exhilarating and terrifying all at once. Helen leaned closer, her voice dropping to a whisper. "You know, I've always thought you were quite handsome." The compliment hung in the air, thick with implication. Alex's mind raced. He knew he should pull away, but the chemistry between them was intoxicating. Before he could process his thoughts, Helen reached out, touching his hand gently. "It's just a harmless flirtation, isn't it?" she said, arching an eyebrow. In that moment, the lines of propriety began to blur, and Alex found himself drawn into her enigmatic charm. With a deep breath, he took a chance. "Maybe it could be more than just harmless," he replied, his voice steady despite the whirlwind of emotions inside him. The spark ignited as they locked eyes, a mutual understanding passing between them. In an instant, the playful banter turned into something deeper. Helen stood up, walking around the couch, her movements graceful like a dancer. She leaned down, looking into Alex's eyes, and without words, they both knew where this was heading. "Are you sure about this?" she whispered, her breath warm against his skin. With a nod that conveyed both excitement and nerves, Alex pulled her closer, their lips crashing together in a fervent kiss. Time seemed to freeze as they lost themselves in each other, the world outside fading into oblivion. What began as a simple tech support visit spiraled into a whirlwind of passion. They explored each other as if discovering uncharted territory, their desires colliding in a frenzy of kisses and whispered confessions. Clothes fell away like barriers that had held them apart for far too long. The hours slipped by as they surrendered to their desires, entwined in each other's embrace. What had started as a casual afternoon turned into an unforgettable encounter, one they both knew would change everything. Boundaries had been crossed, and they were now caught in a tempest of emotions. As the sun began to set, casting a warm glow through the window, they lay together, a tangle of limbs and soft laughter.